Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new show here on Max Talks Movies. Today, I am talking about the box office. It's the new show called Max Talks Box Office. I can't wait to break down the top 5 movies of the week at the box office each and every Monday, the day after the weekend is finished up, putting up all the money for each of the films. Since movie theaters are back really for most places in the country, I want to stop and see all of the box office numbers for each movie, break it down. How does these movies fit into the overall statistics of domestic box office of the year and the biggest domestic opening so far here in 2021? It's a fascinating year to break down the box office, which movies are coming out finally consistently every weekend. So let's get right into the rankings of this past weekend, the weekend of May 14th to May 16th. We're going to break down the top 5 movies of the week and their amount of the money they make, the week they're in, and the domestic drop-off percentage-wise. So coming in at number 1 this week at the box office was Spiral, a movie that I saw in theaters in IMAX. Spiral made $8.7 million at the box office this weekend in its opening weekend. Now, $8 million now has become the overall average that movies really should be trying to hit at the box office during the pandemic at this moment. It used to be 4 around the beginning of the year when films like Tenet were coming out and Wonder Woman and The Little Things. Now films are now really hitting that $8 million mark on the money. So this is an $8.7 million opening weekend for Spiral. Now, once again, guys, this movie was actually only released in theaters. You cannot see this movie on a streaming service. So that has a huge advantage for this film. And we'll see films in the next couple of months like A Quiet Place Part 2, which are big movies, and a Fast and Furious 9, which are big movies that are only movies you can see in the theater. How will that affect the box office? Again, we'll talk about that down the line. But Spiral opens with 8.7. For example, last film in the Saw franchise, Jigsaw, opened around 16 million at the box office. So obviously a big drop off from Jigsaw to Spiral. Coming in at number 2 this week is shockingly Wrath of Man. In its second week, it made $3.7 million at the box office, which is a 55% drop off from its opening weekend. Again, very similar to Spiral. This film, which came out the previous weekend, is an only in theater movie. You can only see Wrath of Man in theaters. I also went to the theater and saw this on opening weekend. My review for this also is on the channel, but Wrath of Man comes in at number 2. Coming at number 3 is a new release, and that is Those Who Wish Me Dead. This is a movie that was on HBO Max and was released in theaters. I saw this on HBO Max and reviewed it here. This film made $2.8 million at the box office this past week, which comes in at number 3. So Those Who Wish Me Dead is probably one of the more really streaming films that they have done so far that feels like you really don't have to see it in the theater in an HBO Max / theater release. I even saw this on HBO Max, not in theaters. The film really was not being talked about that much this weekend, so that makes total sense. So coming in next at number 4 is Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer, the movie, which has been in theaters for a while now, comes in at number 4 after making $1.7 million. They take a 42% drop from the previous week. Big win for this anime film, which was really going head to head with Mortal Kombat. It is now completely past Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat is not in the top 5 this week in the box office. It comes at number 7 this week. So Demon Slayer still hanging tough at 1.7, and also coming in just below them around 1.718. This film came in at 1.77. Is Raya and the Last Dragon in its 11th week. Now, this film is available on Disney Plus for $30, or you can see it in the theater. And this film has consistently been in the top 5 at the box office for the past 11 weeks. Really consistent stuff. Everyone really checking out this new Disney animated film. So that it took a 10.3 5% drop from its 10th weekend. So that is the top 5, guys. Once again, Spiral comes in at number 1, Wrath of Man number 2, Those Who Wish Me Dead number 3, Demon Slayer number 4, and Raya and the Last Dragon coming in at number 5. So overall, where this ranks this week for overall domestic box office of 2021, let's go back to Raya and the Last Dragon. Raya and the Last Dragon comes in as the second, ranks second in the domestic box office for 2021, coming in at $46.12 million at the box office so far here in the United States. Still, no one is close to topping Godzilla vs. Kong, which is still the most domestic, has made the most money at the box office in 2021 here in the United States. So far, it has made $94.1 million at the box office. Also, in my top 5 list this week at the box office was Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is number 5 at the domestic box office for the entire year, coming in with $33.7 million, just $2 million shy of Mortal Kombat. So still no movie has touched that $100 million mark yet overall at the domestic box office. As we get more films like Cruella, A Quiet Place Part 2, Fast and Furious, and a lot of other stuff coming out this summer, will films be able to crack that $100 million mark? I think they will, but we'll see, and we're going to break it down here on this show. As we continue as well, the last stat I want to talk to you guys is about the domestic opening weekends for films since the pandemic started. And Godzilla vs. Kong, again, has the biggest opening weekend so far since the pandemic has started with $48.1 million. Also on my top 5 list, the only film that is still on that top 5 list at the box office for me this week, Demon Slayer is number 3 for the biggest opening weekend after March of 2020. Their opening weekend came in at $21 million. So that is this week's box office with Spiral, The Book of Saul, coming in at number 1 this week. So guys, I'm here every single week. I want to keep talking about the box office. Let me know your thoughts on the box office. Let me know your thoughts on movie theaters in the comments section down below. Please like the video. Please support the channel. If you are liking this show and you want me to do more stuff with the show, let me know in the comment section down below. Please subscribe, ring the bell. I'm going to leave a playlist to my right. I have my reviews already done for films like Spiral, like Those Who Wish Me Dead, like Wrath of Man, which are on the top 5 box office for the weekend. So please consider checking out those reviews, and I'll see you guys this week with some plenty more reviews.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.